Here's KATC Chief Meteorologist Rob Perillo.
Welcome back. Well, it looks to be a relatively mild week ahead. Temperatures might cool a little bit at night. We have a weak frontal boundary trying to push on through the next 48 hours. But we're going to be watching Tropical Storm Ada in the Gulf of Mexico, kind of meandering around, drifting, probably for the better part of this week, and may not make landfall until sometime this week. And we'll talk more about that as well, and in what shape or form. And there are some changes today for sure. We have this big ridge of high pressure that's dominating across the western and central Gulf of Mexico. Bucking up against that is the upper low that's associated with Tropical Storm Ada here off to the east. And then we have this big trough to the west that we thought was going to come in and sweep this system up and push it across the Florida Peninsula during the course of the next day or two. Well, that is not the case. We're not seeing any trough come in. In fact, we see high pressure rebuilding across the southeast. So that means we're going to block this system from moving inland. We're going to talk more about Ada in just a bit, but the tropic's still alive and well. Kind of a subtropical system out here in the far eastern Atlantic. It's got a high chance of development. If so, the next name will be Theta. Could become a subtropical or tropical storm pretty quickly in the next day or two. And meanwhile, down across the Caribbean Sea, there is a little bit of a disturbance here in the eastern Caribbean. That could develop with time, perhaps later this week. And the next name after Theta will be Iota. We'll see if we give this one iota of airtime, but it should stay in the Caribbean. Caribbean having a rough go of it into November this month. And here we have Ada coming and getting away from the Florida Keys. All the heaviest rains pretty much moving away from Florida, so that is the good news. And the better news is that most of the damage with this system and the rainfall is going to be out in the Gulf of Mexico over the next several days. It's been moving to the southwest pretty smartly at 14, but we think it's going to be making a turn and then drifting to the north as we go through later this week. Here we have Thursday, Friday, then getting close to Saturday as we get right here, Saturday at 1 p.m., maybe not making landfall. We'll have to wait and see. But notice we do get this system up to close to a hurricane status, and of course it's 2020. Why not get Louisiana at least in the cone here? And that's just happened today for the first time with this particular tropical storm. And this cone of uncertainty getting larger because, one, it's going to be moving slower, and there's also forecast uncertainty down the road with this system. And as we look at the latest GFS and the European models, this is why your model taking this to the north, ridge building here, so that's pushing the system to the northwest briefly, and then eventually it moves off to the northeast. That's the Euro model. Again, timing different than what the National Hurricane Center is indicating. And here's the latest GFS model showing much the same, working its way through the eastern Gulf, and then maybe a little bit of a westward turn as high pressure to the north builds, and then finding a weakness somewhere over southeast Louisiana. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Some tropical rains. This is going to be a much weaker system, though, by this weekend. Could get into southeast Louisiana, Mississippi, or Alabama this weekend. So we'll watch that. No major impacts here in Acadiana. Locally, it's going to be quiet across the area with generally fair skies. Maybe a slight chance of a shower late tomorrow. This week, frontal boundary fizzles out on across the area, so temperatures still in the 80s behind that front as we head into Wednesday. So a quiet night ahead. Fair to partly cloudy skies. 66 the low tomorrow. Another nice one, 83 the high. Slight chance of a shower late in the day into the early evening, but rain chance 20% or less. The same goes for early Wednesday. Thursday, Friday look quiet this weekend. Another stronger front coming in. That should bring our temperatures down into more significant areas that are closer to what we expect this time of year, mostly 70s, and at night hopefully getting down into the 50s. Jim?
Okay, thanks, Rob.